So welcome to another episode of the Unfinished TBR. I'm Hannah.
I'm Allie.
I'm Casey.
And we are back again. This is our February reading debrief. So
on March 1st.
On March 1st again. We did it.
Yes, it did work out that way again.
Yes, thank goodness. It scratches something, ladies. It scratches something back there. I love it. Oh, I love it. Before we do get started, a couple things. We are going to be reading. We made the selection on the book club. We've got that video out now if you want to go check it out. It's on all of our social medias. So the one we ended up with was Heir of Blood and Moonlight.
My choice.
Yes. So
thank you to whoever joined and wanted to vote with me.
Yes, because it did. Yeah.
Good taste.
It did get pulled out as not our selection until the very last. There was that extra vote in there.
Vote.
So congratulations. So yes, we will be reading Heir of Blood and Moonlight, and we will be doing the book club actually the first week of April instead. So April 7th, be ready to join us for that book club. And the reason it's getting a little bit delayed is my second announcement. We are going to be at the Knoxville Book Festival.
Whoop whoop.
Yes, we are going to have a booth there, which means you can come by either day and come see us. Yay. It's going to be at the Knoxville Convention Center on April 5th and 6th.
Yes.
April 5th is 10 to 7. April 6th is 10 to 4. For a one-day pass, currently it's $15. I do think that's the sale price though, so it might go up to $20. And then the 2-day pass is currently $25, might go up to $30. So if you're interested in coming, there's going to be authors there. The author of The Maze Runner, a giant series, is going to be there. There's going to be publishers there. There's going to be us there.
The best part.
Come see us. We're going to be hanging out. We might have some goodies over there at the booth for you.
They have some like classes or some like, I don't know what to call it.
Yeah. They've got tons of activities. So be sure if you're in the area, come hang out with us. We are so excited. I cannot wait.
I'm excited.
Yes. So we'll be there and come literally hang out with us. You might get featured on the podcast.
Charlaine Harris will also be there. #1 New York Times bestselling author of the Sookie Stackhouse urban fantasy series that inspired True Blood. She's also known for The Gunny Rose, Aurora Tea Garden, Midnight Texas, the Cemetery Girl series, and more. There's also going to be more authors, Kristen Combs, Rich Davis. This is just a couple of people that you can meet. Publishers will be there. Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
That's a great lineup.
Exactly. So
And us.
The featured.
Yes. The real reason they're all gathering.
Yes.
So they can hang out with us. So you might as well come too. So if you're in the area, stop on by. We will be so excited to see you. So I reckon that finishes the announcements. So let's get started, ladies.
Allie.
So what are we currently reading?
Okay. So I finished Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets last night.
Nice.
So I started a book today. I do think I'm going to put a pause on it because it is Funny Story by Emily Henry.
I've heard. Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
I've seen conflicting opinions on this one. It's
have
polarizing, apparently.
Okay.
In some ways.
Okay. Yeah, I just started it. I can tell you, I'm 4% of the way through.
Just started.
Literally just started this morning to go get my coffee.
Nice.
But the reason I'm thinking about putting a pause on it because I am currently reading on Kindle Unlimited Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez.
Okay.
They are two very close authors, so I'm afraid that it's going to be too...
It'll burn you out of the next one you read no matter what.
Yes, because I have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of
Yes, Azkaban.
Azkaban.
Yes.
I have that one. I have that one to be able to listen to, so I may listen to that while I'm reading just for the summer.
Right.
So that way I'm not overloaded with cheesy smut.
Yes.
So,
Well, I have to do the same thing with any fantasy books. Like, I
Right.
can't read fantasy books at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I have to split it up.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I get the worlds mixed up.
That's true.
It's harder for fantasy. I think it's just more of a feeling for me.
Gotcha.
Where it would be
it's
too
much of the same
Yes.
feeling. I gotcha.
I'm
All right.
learning that slowly but surely.
Yeah. So what are you reading, Casey?
Currently started this morning is Hexed by Emily McIntire.
Nice.
Who did Hooked and Scarred that I've already read. And
Yes.
Hannah, I think's finished the series or
yes,
close.
all except for Hexed, yeah.
All except for this one?
Yes.
Ooh, interesting. And I'm also going to be reading next, or listening to, both of these are listens, to Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica.
Ah, yeah.
Somebody I work with, or previously worked with, read it and loved it. So I'm hoping this will be closer in the vein of what some of the other stuff she had written was.
Right.
And maybe I'm out of my burnout from that
Yes.
time.
Yes.
So those will be back-to-back ones that I'm going to be listening to.
Okay. I like it. And I am currently, all I've got is, I still haven't finished Good Wives by Louisa May Alcott, that the pretty one that I've got. I haven't finished that one, so I'm still making my way through that one. You started the month for us, Allie.
Yes. So I finished this. I only had 30 minutes left last debrief.
Dang.
So I finished this book immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
home.
Basically, as soon as you got home.
Yeah, it's The Life We Bury by Alan Eskens. I have already kind of talked about how I found this book on the Available Now on Libby.
Yes.
And I was hooked. It is very good. I haven't heard a lot from Alan Eskens, but apparently he's big because I am now on hold for the second book in this series that just released, and it is a several month wait.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Several month. It's
How
called,
did you do that?
I don't know. It's called The Shadows We Hide by Alan Eskens. I am 15th in line. I started 16th. There is one copy in use. So hopefully our library will gain some more.
Yes.
And that it
One
won't be
copy
several
is
months.
crazy.
Maybe they'll be fast readers.
Yeah.
It is a audiobook.
Oh,
so maybe
that's
they'll
listeners.
return it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the synopsis is college student Joe Talbert has the modest goal of completing a writing assignment for an English class. His task is to interview a stranger and write a brief biography of the person. With deadlines looming, Joe heads to a nearby nursing home to find a willing subject. There, he meets Carl Iverson, and soon nothing in Joe's life is ever the same. Carl is a dying Vietnam veteran and a convicted murderer. With only a few months left to live, he has been medically paroled to a nursing home after spending 30 years in prison for the crimes of rape and murder. As Joe writes about Carl's life, especially Carl's valor in Vietnam, he cannot reconcile the heroism of the soldier with the despicable acts of the convict. Joe, along with his skeptical female neighbor, throws himself into uncovering the truth, but he is hamstrung in his efforts by having to deal with his dangerously dysfunctional mother, the guilt of leaving his autistic brother vulnerable, and a haunting childhood memory. Thread by thread, Joe unravels the tapestry of Carl's conviction, but as he and Layla dig deeper into the circumstances of the crime, the stakes grow higher. Will Joe discover the truth before it's too late to escape the fallout?
Wow.
There are so many different stories in this book, and they are all so interesting.
Really?
Yes. So you've got the past of Joe growing
Right.
up with a dysfunctional is a word for it, mother. Her piece of crap boyfriends and all this other. He's never met his dad. Doesn't know who his dad is, I'm pretty sure. And his brother's autistic. I can't remember. He doesn't say anything in like positive statements. It's always maybe I forget what his brother's name is, but for example, you would say, what happened to the TV? Maybe Allie turned it off. Maybe Allie rewinded the film. Something
So
like
it's
that.
like
Yeah.
constantly-
And he's so sweet. He's so sweet. But then he's got this neighbor that he's falling for, and she has a troubled past. Then you've
gosh.
got Carl Iverson, who
obviously
is
has
convicted
yeah.
for this and went through Vietnam and all, and he goes into stories from Vietnam.
So is this a trigger warning book?
Yes, I put trigger warning, multiple scenes of sexual assault. Multiple scenes.
Yikes.
One isn't enough?
No.
To get the point across?
No. I mean, look at all these different stories from all these people's past. I mean,
you're right.
it's there are some, please, if you have a trigger with essays. I did rate this 3 stars, but I highly suggest this to people.
Okay.
So maybe
So it's
I
a
would rate it
high-
a 4, because I would suggest this to just about anybody.
Even though it's
think.
a tough...
But I don't
subject
think
matter?
yes, it is a very tough subject matter.
So maybe that's why
maybe
you went to 3.
And I think there are more that I would be like this one, you know. But if somebody was like, "I'm reading The Life We Bury," I'm like, yes,
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So
I can see
Borderline
that.
4.
Yes. Very high 3.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that is all I have for the beginning.
All right.
Hannah, silence. You can't talk.
Okay, so technically, I
Just-
read
yeah.
Iron Flame and Onyx Storm. Iron Flame I finished on February 4th, and Onyx Storm I finished on February 6th. But we're going to hold off because Casey has also read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame now.
I've read Iron Flame this month,
And
so we've
so
all read Iron Flame. This
What we're
month.
going to do is we're going
Yep.
to do a little mini-sode. So be looking for that this week. But I'm just going to glaze over that. And I will... We'll save even the ratings for when we
Okay.
have the discussion.
Okay.
All right. So, Casey, technically you were next. Educated.
Educated by Tara Westover. Normally, when Allie suggests a book and then I read it, I don't like them as often because our tastes are so different.
Right.
Yeah.
So different. I keep trying. I'm hoping we found some common ground, and I think this was it. It's in autobiographies.
Yes.
So far, because you suggested I'm Glad My Mom Died, which I'd already had on my TBR anyways. It just pushed me to go ahead and get it. And then Educated by Tara Westover. I read this book from February 8th through the 11th, so it's very quick.
Oh, wow.
for
That is
me, at
quick.
least. And I rated it a 5 stars.
It's so good.
It would. Have you read it yet?
No.
This one is so intriguing.
Okay.
The stories are just
They
mind-boggling.
feel like fiction.
They feel fictional.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
they feel
it's
like
so
fiction.
crazy. There's no possibility this could have happened
I
to somebody.
remember sitting and cooking dinner, and it just clicked. I was like, "Oh my god, this happened to somebody. This
Yeah.
is someone's real life memories."
That is crazy.
That kept coming back to me when you had said that during your review of it, that you just kept having to refocus that this is true.
yeah.
And it kept grounding me back, and I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
Because I started plotting it out kind of like a fantasy book for parts of it. So, okay, where in the map are we? And I'm like, this is not a map. This is, what is it,
Actual-
Idaho?
I think so. Yeah,
This is Idaho.
I think
this
so.
is for real.
And does it not feel a little like 50s, 60s, 70s? And then you find out it's
Yeah.
like early 2000s,
yes.
and you're like, "Excuse me?"
I was alive
Yes,
for this.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Which is another realization the author makes in here too at some points, is realizing things in history have happened while she's alive. I mean, she has been so sheltered
That's crazy.
and taught some very outlandish things with major details being left out of certain events.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh. When you start thinking about the history that they're talking about in this book, alongside of the paralleling their lives of their own history, I just kept being like this.
Yeah.
Just mouth agape. I don't know what to say.
Right.
I can't believe this happened. This had to be fictional, and
Yes.
it's not.
Okay.
And to think that the author starts where she does, just zero knowledge, zero real education, very rudimentary of what she's gotten, to having a doctorate,
Wow.
a PhD, right?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, that whole transition for her life. I mean, because she's the author. I mean, you can see where she's got her
Did she go to
her accolades.
Oxford?
She goes to
She went to.
she goes to BYU, and then she
yeah.
goes to.
It was a school
It's
in.
not Oxford, is it?
It's not Oxford.
Cambridge.
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 It is Cambridge. Yes.
Yes.
She goes to Cambridge. Then she goes to Harvard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just unbelievable.
And in one of her first college classes, they are going over a topic and she doesn't understand the word. What is this? And she says out loud to the class, "What's the Holocaust?" And everybody was like,
this isn't something
Yeah.
to joke about. Oh my God.
Yeah.
She truly did not know
Oh my
what
gosh.
the Holocaust was.
and she was in college.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, she's 16 when she goes to college.
But still.
Forget.
But
Still.
you've learned about that. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
in Tennessee, typically we start talking in depth where you would actually know a bunch about it, like 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm thinking 5th.
So you're 10
Yes.
or 11, and she's 16 going, what is that?
Right.
And they just take it as a joke. I mean, who wouldn't think you're joking?
Right.
Yeah.
Because that
Especially
was such
because-
a significant
Yeah.
part of history.
They assume she's in her 18 or 20s
Right.
when she goes, because she's lied about her age. But
Bless.
it is crazy. You should read it just.
Yes.
All right. I'm adding
highly
it.
suggest. And it's a short wait on Libby.
Okay. I'm adding it.
So it is so good. It is a 5-star for me. Casey has agreed that it is a 5-star.
Nice.
So is this your year of memoirs?
I think
Last year-
honestly, I'm
last
not
year
gonna
was my
lie.
year of
I'm making
memoirs.
a goal for myself now that I've done. I'm glad my mom died in January, and then educated in February. One a month.
Yeah.
Just
Dinner
one.
for vampires.
Dinner for
Make that
vampires.
one
I
your
need to
third
add
one.
that to there. I will.
Paris is very good too.
That one seemed traumatizing.
It is
Yeah.
very traumatizing.
I know it's traumatizing.
I'm gonna
Most
I'm gonna
of
pause
these are
on
gonna
that
be.
one.
Are there any stories that stuck out to you? Like one of the stories that stuck out to me was the car crash.
Which one?
That's very true. The
My
one that
God.
changed the moms.
The first one.
Yeah.
Just there's so many things. I don't know. Is it spoilers if it's someone's life?
I don't know. So
I don't think necessarily.
I also want to point out that I did a little bit of research after reading this book. So some journalist went and interviewed her parents because the journalist doesn't believe Tara's version of events, because she says, "Oh, so you didn't have any education and you just magically made it to Cambridge?" She even talks about in the book how she had to teach herself. Like, get
Yeah.
real.
She went through what she told about it.
My personal opinion, she goes and interviews the parents and they're denying everything.
Obviously.
Denying absolutely everything.
Of course.
And she even something that stuck out was the dad kept jumping up and like looking around and just was very antsy, wanting to get her. And I'm like, there's the proof.
Yeah.
There's the proof.
Yeah. That's paranoia.
Yeah.
Which
Like-
is exactly what they think he had. I mean, schizophrenia.
Yes. There's your proof right there. Mm-hmm. And you're going to sit there and publish this article. Somebody's going to
Why?
read
Okay.
it and be like, yeah, this one
Yeah.
is
Okay.
the one.
If you're someone who wants to verify the information, I understand wanting to talk to the parents and giving their, at least a little section of their retelling of the events. I want to
But-
talk to the siblings that left. parent.
Yes.
I want to talk to the brother that helped teach her trigonometry.
Right.
That's the one I want to hear from.
Now, she does have siblings that she doesn't talk to anymore.
Yes. I would like to hear their side, but they probably are going to give the same type of events.
Right.
But I want to hear from both ends.
Yeah.
If you're going to go through and try to verify this information, you can't go to the person who's being blamed.
Yeah. No, because they're going to deny everything.
That's incriminating evidence.
Yes. Yes.
You need to go from both sides.
Yes.
You can't just take the one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're
that's-
already saying hers isn't good enough as the one, then theirs isn't good enough as
Yeah,
the one.
exactly. That's poor journalism.
Yeah. It is. It's a crazy story. I mean, it's not even just her parents. Her parents are crazy and abusive. Her
I wanna
mom's mostly
punch her
passive
brother.
in it. Then that one brother, it's
I wanna
not even
punch
the
him in the
oldest.
face.
Yeah,
I want to punch him in the face.
I don't have words I can say on the internet for what I'd like to have happen for that. Just the sister, I feel bad for everybody involved, but also at the same time, you're like, you should have protected each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a
very-
horrible retelling, but also it's like, I don't know. You just need to read it. You're
Yeah.
very immersed. You feel like you're there, and you can also picture people that you might know
Right.
who could have been in some of these situations, or like, and not even like the whole situation itself.
Right.
But like chunks of it,
Yeah.
you can see certain.
People in it.
Gosh, it's harsh. It's a good read.
I'll
I
have to-
listened to it. I listened to it.
Yeah.
It's read by the author, right?
Yes.
Nice.
No. I'm
No,
so
it's
sorry.
not.
No, it
is
was
my
your favorite voice.
audio.
Yeah,
Yes. Who
yeah.
is also reading Funny Story. So her name
okay.
is Julia something. I wonder
I
if it
bet.
says
so
it
it's not
on-
read by the author, but
Oh
the
my
reader
God.
does a really good job.
Nice.
She's my favorite. Every time I see that
That's so
she's reading
cool.
it, I'm just
How cool to be somebody who reads audiobooks
Oh.
and
know.
be someone's
Right.
favorite.
Yes.
Have
She is
fans.
my favorite.
That is so cool. We'll have
It
to
doesn't
tag her.
say. It doesn't. Read by Julia Whelan. Whelan. She is my favorite. Every time I see it, I'm like, yes.
We'll have to tag her.
Yes.
Let her know that she's got a huge fan.
Yes, I am your biggest fan, if you will.
All right. Was
Next
that all
up.
you? Was that all you had on it?
Yes, Hannah, and that's another pause.
Yes. So I am going to go ahead and read the synopsis.
Okay.
So this is the German
Oh.
wife.
I should have read the synopsis.
No, Allie already did.
Yes.
Yes.
Look back at Allie's review.
Yes. Allie had this. This was Educated
one.
was Allie's #1 of 2024.
Yes.
Yes.
So we got to see if it is
cracks-
2 years in a
Yeah,
row.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
there's still what, 10 months to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot 2 5-stars this year at least. So.
So that's amazing. Oh wow.
This is the year for me. Last year
Nice.
was rough.
Yeah. No, mine's still shaping.
Could go either way.
But this one was a very good pull. So this is The German Wife by Kelly Rimmer. And I read it February 11th through the 12th, I'm pretty sure it was, on Libby Audio. And I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis. It is the New York Times bestselling author of The Warsaw Orphan returns with a gripping novel inspired by the true story of Operation Paperclip, a controversial secret U.S. intelligence program that employed former Nazis after World War II. Berlin, 1930. When a wave of change sweeps a radical political party to power, Sophie von Meyer-Rhode's academic husband benefits from the ambitions of its newly elected chancellor. Although Sophie and Jurgen do not share the social views growing popular in Hitler's Germany, Jurgen's position with its burgeoning rocket program changes their diminishing fortunes for the better. But as Sophie watches helplessly, her beloved Berlin begins to transform, forcing her to consider what they must sacrifice morally for their young family's security and what the price for their neutrality will be. 20 years later, Jurgen is one of the many German scientists offered pardons for their part in the war and taken to America to work for its fledgling space program. For Sophie, this is the chance to exorcise the ghosts that have followed her across the ocean and make a fresh start of her in her adopted country. But her neighbors aren't as welcoming or as understanding as she had hoped. When scandalous rumors about the Rhodes family affiliations with Hitler's regime spreads, idle gossip turns to bitter rage, and the act of violence that results will tear apart Sophie's community and her family before the truth is finally revealed. Wow. Let me just say, I would not have picked this up myself.
Really?
I would not have. No. I've always been extremely soft-hearted when it comes to anything to do with the Holocaust.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to stomach.
To cross.
I remember either 5th or 6th grade, we took a trip to Washington, D.C., and they have a Holocaust museum there. It's like a 2-part. I got through the first part, and my heart was breaking. Got to the second part, and like a movie started about it. I couldn't. It had pictures. I could not handle it. I had to step out of the room. I had to just step outside for a little bit. And in between junior and senior year, I actually went to Germany and went to Auschwitz. And that was tough too. Even though I was older, it was still, I mean, that'll floor you. So with all that background, I probably would not have picked this up on my own. However, my dad recommended it to me, and I'm not going to go too in depth on this book because me and him are going to make a little mini-sode out of it. We've got some discussion questions that I've pulled that we're going to talk about the story a little bit. I do think it helps that it had flashbacks of Nazi Germany, but it was mainly Operation Paperclip and what they were experiencing in America as Germans that came from the Nazis. I mean, you can imagine how that everybody was divided on that. You know, it was like
right.
So that it focused enough on that, and the rest was just backstory that I was able to handle it, which I was grateful for because it was an amazing book. I highly recommend it.
Are you going to give us your star rating?
Yes.
Okay.
I rated this 5 out of 5. It is a 4.38 overall.
That's highly rated.
5 stars in a row?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So, it is on Libby, and it is a very short wait, if any. I didn't have any wait.
I'm going to go ahead and add it.
Yes. I got it pulled up and added that same day. Mm-hmm. Amazing. And, but if you don't have Libby, it is $10.88 paperback is the cheapest option. So, yes. We would be looking for that mini-sode this week with my wonderful father. I'm so excited about this. I asked him if he wanted to do a mini-sode on it, and he was like, yeah, sure. Why not? And I was
special
like,
guest.
A special guest? And it's my dad? Like,
yeah.
So, yes, we will be.
Borrowed immediately.
Perfect. And see, a lot of times that makes you worry a little bit because it's like
that's how the Likely Berry was, and I really enjoyed it.
And you find some gems.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to learn not to judge too much.
The book by its cover
or its weight line. That's the new.
Yeah.
Don't judge a book by its weight on Libby.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's coin that. All right, now is the time, ladies.
Yes.
Now is the time.
Mini episode.
We are doing a mini-sode. So, be looking for this mini-sode this week, and we will post it sometime before
the whole Fourth Wing universe.
Sunday. Yes. Let's discuss the entire Fourth Wing universe.
That is out right now.
That is out, or that you guys have made it. You might as well subscribe so you know when we're going to be posting this mini-sode.
Ring the bell
so that you know that we are about to discuss Fourth Wing and Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. All right, so who's next?
I think this is going to be another mini-sode.
I mean, we've talked a lot about all of this. It's Harry Potter for me.
Oh, see, I think with our sorting ceremony, that is coming up. So you do your spiel first.
So and here's the synopsis.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wait, we've already read the synopsis. What are we doing?
Several times talked about it. So my next read from February 18th through February 19th.
Oh, Nice.
Yes, I read it over the course of 2 afternoons is all this took.
Wow.
Staying with my parents, might I add. So I was very, like, potential for distractions, and I was like, nah, I got to get this.
I'm impressed.
I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I did not realize when I read it, I read Philosopher's Stone over Sorcerer's Stone. So I did actually read Philosopher's Stone and not Sorcerer's. I don't think there was much difference between, because they only change a few words and phrases here and there.
Yeah.
But I read the Philosopher's Stone, which is the UK version of the Sorcerer's Stone. And by read, I mean somebody illegally uploaded the official one to YouTube, and I listened to it. It was free. If anybody would like to go find that.
No, we're not gonna, tell you where to find it, but you'll have to find it yourself.
Get your own. And my husband listened along as well over the course of the same week. Yes. So we read those, and then we had, just because we were going to start it together, kind of, which he never waits on me. He didn't wait. We watched Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, and Prisoner of Azkaban together over the course of Valentine's to prepare for it. I have to say, I can definitely tell these were written for children.
Yes.
But they were. Yes. They are what they are. They were very good stories for kids.
Yes. But like I said in the December reading debrief, when Allie first told us that she had read it, the first 3 books are very geared toward children, but then they grow up.
Yes, because like the movies, they grow up with the characters.
Yes. And it becomes much more drastic.
Yes.
The things that are happening.
No, I have seen all of the movies, and I did sit and watch and pay attention.
Yeah.
That was my goal.
You were in it, not just painting your nails and stuff.
Well, I was just meaning, like, it was my intention to watch them. Yeah. You just happened to be there while other people had the intention of watching them.
Yes, yes.
But the one unfortunate part of doing that is I watched them all over the course of, like, a few days in singular sitting. Like, I watched, like, 4 at one time. Yeah. And then I watched the rest of them, like, a couple of days later. So I don't know where the stories begin and end.
I gotcha. It's all one movie flowed together.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I am ever mentioning something and it's in a different book,
I'll be able to let you know.
Yeah, just stop me. Like, you've moved too far. You've gone too far. That doesn't happen. Because I might be like, they left out this, and you're like, that's because that was the last book. Not this one. So close.
Yeah.
But it was really good. I love the extra details you get about about Dudley, the Dursleys.
The Dursleys, yes.
I always get their name wrong. About the Dursleys. I didn't realize that. I felt like it was lacking in the movie.
Yeah.
I needed that background to understand why they hate so much.
Yes.
Because she has refuted the fact that Harry's a Horcrux, right? J.K. Rowling has. That's like a theory. Harry's a Horcrux. So Horcruxes bring out anger to the one holding it.
But he's such a sweetheart, though.
He is.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a theory, is that they hated him because of that.
Okay.
But I think J.K. Rowling has disputed that one and said that's not why they hate him. They hate him because of magic.
Just because, they are so muggle. That they
don't want anything. And I feel like the book explains that way better than the movies does.
Yeah.
Because I was definitely on board of, well, of course they hated him. He was a Horcrux.
Right.
And then I read this and I was like, oh, well.
Never mind.
No, they really did just hate him.
Right.
Like, all on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes them worse, and that makes me happy for more things that happen to them later.
Yes.
But I love the extra details. It was very good.
Yeah. They've got a lot of stuff that happens. Yeah. It's great.
It was good. It was a great read. I'm glad you finally made us read this.
Yes,
and I'm excited to read the next one.
Yes.
I'm glad you twisted our arm.
To let you guys know, we do have a sorting ceremony. We have all done the sorting now.
Yes.
We're not going to tell you what house we're in, but we've all done the sorting now. And you should stick around for the next episode when we are uploading that.
Yes.
So hang around. Hit the little bell. Get some notifications from us so you know what houses we're in.
Okay. Anyways, continuing. We are on
the wedding people.
Yes. Yay.
Wait a second. Didn't you put this one in the hat?
I did not. Did not choose it.
Oh, someone else put it.
Someone
in
else on YouTube recommended it, and actually I commented to them saying that I just got this on Libby, so it would be perfect.
Yes.
So I'd been on the wait list for a while. I saw it on maybe Pinterest.
Wait,
I saw
Harry
it on
Potter.
social
I rated
media.
it.
Oh,
I meant
yeah.
to tell you, I rated it a 4-star. Thank you.
Nice.
I rated the
Anyways.
Wedding People a 4 stars.
Good.
So even though we did not draw the Wedding People for our book club,
Yes.
I still want you all to read it.
Okay.
It
Really?
is so good. I wrote down, if this book got turned into a movie, it would become my new comfort watch.
Really?
Honestly, I want them to turn it into a movie so I could just, if I'm not feeling good one day, I could turn it on and watch it.
Like 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, it's something. Like, well, my comfort
That's my
movie is the
comfort.
Goofy movie.
Oh, that is a good comfort one.
That's a good one.
That's a good comfort one.
So, I will go ahead and read the synopsis.
Yes, let's hear it.
It's a beautiful day in Newport, Rhode Island, when Phoebe Stone arrives at the Grand Cornwall Inn wearing a green dress and gold heels, not a bag in sight, alone. She's immediately mistaken by everyone in the lobby for one of the wedding people, but she's actually the only guest at the Cornwall who isn't here for the big event. Phoebe is here because she's dreamed of coming here for years. She hoped to shuck oysters and take sunset sails with her husband, only now she's here without him, at rock bottom, and determined to have one last decadent splurge on herself. Meanwhile, the bride has accounted for every detail and every possible disaster the weekend might yield, except for, well, Phoebe and Phoebe's plan, which makes it that much more surprising when the two women can't stop confiding in each other. It turns absurdly funny and devastatingly tender. Alison Espach's The Wedding People is ultimately an incredible, nuanced, and resonant look at the winding paths we can take to places we never imagined.
That sounds so cute.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It's wholesome. It is just... the only way I know how to describe it is rom-com, but... sweet rom-com. Like you just want to turn it on TV whenever you're just needing a new comfort watch, you know. I did read it from February 12th to February 19th. I listened to it. There is no spice. I rated it 4 stars. And it's a beautiful story about loving yourself.
I love that.
So,
we all need that.
Yes.
On the TBR.
Yes.
It's so good. It is so good. I want you all to
okay.
I want to talk about it more. I want to have a mini-sode on this.
Let's do it.
Mini-sode.
Let's do it. All right.
Anna, Layla.
And I would read The Wedding People again. I would read it over and over again, probably.
Aww.
It is so good.
I love that.
It may be a comfort read.
Yeah. We all need those. This one is definitely not, though.
No.
Layla by Colleen Hoover. I read this one January 29th through February 23rd. It was on Kindle Unlimited. So that was nice. It did have the option of also listening to it for free.
Oh,
I did
nice.
not take that option because at the time I was listening to something else. But it was still nice to have that as an option. So let me read the synopsis here. From author Colleen Hoover comes a novel that explores life after tragedy and the enduring spirit of love. When Leeds meets Layla, he's convinced he'll spend the rest of his life with her, until an unexpected attack leaves Layla fighting for her life. After weeks in the hospital, Layla recovers physically, but the emotional and mental scarring has altered the woman Leeds fell in love with. In order to put their relationship back on track, Leeds whisks Layla away to the bed and breakfast where they first met. Once they arrive, Layla's behavior takes a bizarre turn, and that's just one of the many inexplicable occurrences. Feeling distant from Layla, Leeds soon finds solace in Willow, another guest of the B&B with whom he forms a connection through their shared concerns. As his curiosity for Willow grows, his decision to help her find answers puts him in direct conflict with Layla's well-being. Leeds soon realizes he has to make a choice because he can't help both of them. But if he makes the wrong choice, it could be detrimental for all of them. It was a very interesting concept. Mm-hmm. It was a very interesting concept. But I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay.
As a whole. It got to the end of chapter 15.
The chapter.
And I really started to feel icky. Something about it, I was like, I need to go shower.
I don't see that. Didn't feel that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
It was...
Chapter 15 is the hair.
No, that happened way earlier.
Oh, really?
Chapter 15 was when Layla discovers the ring, and she is so excited about it.
You gotta
sure
get
you didn't
the
watch-
end.
you didn't
once
read
you get
Scary
to the,
Movie 4.
No.
Yeah,
Once you get
once-
to the end, you'll understand.
Yeah,
You gotta
getting
get
to the end.
It is one of my favorite Colleen Hoover books because I did not see it.
I didn't see it coming either.
And I
still just felt too icky though.
yeah.
I felt too icky about it all. Like
But
I
the
messaged
massive
you.
balls didn't do it for you.
The what?
The massive balls and ugly love didn't do it for you. Didn't make you feel icky.
No,
No, I'm just kidding.
no.
I'm just kidding.
But I Snapchatted you right after I finished. I Snapchatted Allie, and I was like, I felt weird in the no-show because I was like, why am I still rooting for this guy? But this one was a different kind of, like, I wasn't rooting for him. I just felt weird. Like, it was definitely emotional. It was a emotional cheating. For sure.
Oh, for sure.
And I was like, that just feels weird.
Yeah.
But I felt less weird about the no-show where he had 3 women.
No.
So it didn't make sense. Like, I couldn't fathom that and I just had to tell somebody. So I Snapchatted Allie and I was like, explain this to me, why my emotions are like this about these 2 books. Like, what makes them so different?
One's physical cheating, one's emotional. Hannah clearly cares about one more than the other.
Don't you dare emotionally cheat on me, Matthew.
But if
Don't
your
dare.
accidentally slips into a hooker when you're out in Vegas, that's fine. Trip, fall, there you go. It's fine. She'll forgive you. Just don't like the girl.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
God, don't like her, please.
I'm
She's
so
not
much
supposed
more
to
likable.
just Matt.
Nobody better be more likable to him than me. Nobody.
I may not have him on looks, but
Yeah.
I know my personality is
Oh,
top
yeah.
tier.
Oh yeah, we're best friends. Okay. All right. So, I will say I don't think they marveled enough at the strength of their love. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you joking?
Mm-hmm.
When it's revealed
Yeah,
and they have 2 sentences on it?
I know.
Excuse me? Like, I would have I would have cried for hours on end because I was like, my husband loves me this much to find me. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So should have expanded on that more and maybe cut out the eating of the hair.
If you gotta swap sentences,
maybe just do that.
Colleen Hoover is definitely a shock writer.
Yes, she 100% is.
Yes.
She goes for that shock factor.
Yes.
I did only give this one a 3 out of 5 just because I still feel icky. So it is a 3.62 overall. Feels accurate.
Yeah.
It's on Kindle Unlimited, like I said, with the option of listening as well. But the next cheapest option is $7.50 on paperback.
Whoop.
You need Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
If you haven't figured that out by now, that's a you problem. All right. Who's next?
Me.
Hex.
The book that I'm currently reading.
Emily McIntire. Girl, you are my girl. And so this is a dark romance. I started on February 3rd and I finished February 23rd. I might have read a couple books in between. So maybe. Let me pull up I gave this 5-star smut.
Really?
Wow.
But I think, okay, so if the math is mathing, I gave the story a 3-star.
Okay.
In general, and the smut is a 5-star. So if
overall-
we go based off of Hannah's thought process and
It's a
Casey's
4.
thought process, it's a 4. I'm still gonna give the story a 3-star, but
The wide eyes. Explain in terms of when the moon hatched, that spice level.
oh,
Is it even beyond that?
I've forgotten every smut before this.
Oh.
Because I really don't remember.
When the moon has.
There's...
Yeah. Dude, those scenes were like fantastic to me.
I don't know if I'd have deemed that like the smuttiest book I could have compared it to.
I'm not saying smutty though, but that was like good. The quality.
Oh,
quality.
I'm thinking chapter 55 of
Mist and
Fury.
Okay, see, that was more
I
was thinking the
this
comparison
is
should come
totally
from.
like what, like I need to have Aaron read this and be like,
Do that.
It's a play-by-play. Take some notes.
yeah.
Write that down. Write that down.
So, nope. The engagement party. When you get to the engagement party,
Take notes.
yes, be prepared. He's the prince of La Casa Nostra. She's the witch who steals his heart. Vanessa Anderson has never been good. She wasn't good enough for her parents, and she isn't good enough for the gangster uncle who took her in after they died. But she's cunning, beautiful, dutiful to her uncle's demands, and she doesn't have time for a moral compass anyway. When her runaway cousin returns to their coastal southern town, she brings a man with her, and Vanessa soon realizes he's the only one who's ever seen her for her. There's just one problem. She can never have him. Enzo, Loverboy Marino, is a wealthy businessman by day and prince of the underworld by night. Underboss to a notorious mafia syndicate, he answers to no one except his father, the strongest Don in the Northeast. When he's tasked with marriage, Enzo doesn't think twice until he meets his fiance's cousin. Vanessa is everything he never knew he wanted, bewitching him with her sultry voice and supple curves, but Enzo learned long ago that for a man like him, life is better without the things you want. When plans unravel and temptation sings its siren song, they'll both have to choose what's more important, duty to their families or a forbidden love that was never supposed to be.
Lover boy. Lover boy. Please tell me she doesn't call him that.
So they call him Loverboy because he's got like the looks, like it's his mafia nickname.
But
okay, that's
okay.
fine.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. That's not like her pet name for him. Okay, thank God.
I think she does it mockingly, but I don't think that's.
I can handle mockingly, not like seriously.
Yeah, no.
I could never.
No. I listened to this. So, my Little Mermaid is my favorite Disney princess. I want to be Ariel. I think Aurora is the prettiest. Cinderella is my favorite movie, but I want to be Ariel because I've always wanted to live under the sea.
Nice.
Anywho, so this book, I have a Little Mermaid engagement ring.
Yes.
So this book is made for me. I love how Emily pulls all the details out. And the way that she just
manipulates them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. So I put the smut was smutting in this book.
Nice.
It does take a minute to get there.
Okay.
Like you get well over halfway.
I can handle that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
But then once it starts, it doesn't stop.
Nice.
It don't quit.
Nice.
And yeah, this book, I gave it a 3-star. The smut. Casey, you're already reading it, so you gotta tell me whenever you get to the
fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so fast. I'm going to hurry and get this one as well.
Yeah. It's available immediately. So
yeah. Okay.
What are you waiting on?
I don't know.
That's literally that's what I did. Just
I'm
pulled it
taking a
up.
drive early next week.
The storyline, if it didn't have the smut, I would probably DNF.
Okay. Which is why it got a 3-star.
Yes.
Okay.
But
their connection.
These stories are just what happens when Disney adults grow up, and
That's what it is.
yeah.
Okay, Haunting of Ashburn.
we
House.
are going the complete opposite.
Oh gosh, yeah, complete flip.
Yeah, because this is a horror novel. This is what I want. Darcy Coates is I'm going to read more of her books because so many scary parts throughout this book. Like genuinely I was waiting on Aaron to come to bed because I was like, I need somebody in here. I don't
That's
want
wow.
to sleep the light off.
To scare you.
Yeah.
That's just me, like, seeing a scary picture.
And it was so, it hooked me like so fast.
Ooh.
So fast. Everyone knows about Ashburn House. They whisper its old owner went mad and restless ghosts still walk the halls. They say it's a dwelling place of something cruel and sinister. But when Adrienne, desperate and in need of a place to stay, inherits the crumbling old mansion, she only sees it as a lifeline until darkness falls. Strange messages are etched into the walls. Furniture moves when she leaves the room. There's something here, something powerful, angry, and hell-bent on shaking things up. Worse, a grave hidden in the depths of the forest hints at a terrible, unforgivable secret. Eventually, Adrienne can't ignore that a twisted thing lives in the house. Its hungry eyes ever watchful, chasing the threads of a decades-old mystery. It isn't long before she realizes she's become prey to something deeply unnatural and intensely resentful.
This is what The Haunting of Hill House wanted to be.
Yes. Yeah.
This is what The Haunting of Hill House, the book, wanted to be.
I'll take your word for it.
Ooh.
You need to write it down.
Yes.
And it is a way, if you get it on Libby, there's hardly any Darcy Coates on Libby because I have 2 different library cards for 2 different counties.
Right.
So, and there's almost none. Definitely not in audiobook.
Huh.
So it is a little bit of a wait. I read this. I finished it February 25th. Mm-hmm. So with Iron Flame, I listened to it on Spotify while also physically reading it because with Spotify you get 15 free hours.
Right.
So I didn't have to wait on it. Mm-hmm. Well, whenever it would get to a tense part on Spotify, and I'm sure it was the same author, it was like she was yelling at you.
Oh, I loved that.
I
love that.
But there were so many times where I was like, I'm sorry.
No, that's how I want my audiobooks to be. Like, put the feeling into it.
They went down the stairs and then they did it. Yeah. I was like,
but the bike exploded.
But
it's Kylie Perkins, except for horror books.
Yes, yeah. I noticed that at the end of this book, my brain was doing that to me.
Yes. and I think that's why I like it so much is because that's what's going on in my head, which you can hear through the podcast. Like, you can hear. There are times where we're like all quiet and then,
you can barely hear
something crazy happens and it's like, are you joking? And suddenly you have to turn your radio down.
Yeah,
so
my brain was doing this to me. So
yes, it's crazy. I'm gonna have to add that because that sounds spectacular.
It's good. I liked it. I gave it 3 stars.
And for you to speak so highly of it,
I know it's very scary. I liked it. I love scary.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah,
very excited. All right. Okay, so I am knocking all 3 of these out at once because I read the Lightlark series, basically back to back to back to back. Well, back to back to back.
26th, 27th, and 28th.
Yes,
literally back to back.
So I did make the mistake on the first one. I started on February 14th. That was a Friday. I didn't listen to it all weekend. And then Monday came around. I had to take my car to the shop. And then Tuesday came around. 1, I was in a car that my phone wasn't connected to. And 2, that's when my boss came in. And he was there all week. I'm glad he was, but it meant that I couldn't read at all in the car. So I basically started it on February 14th, but the majority of it I read on the 26th, which was, I had my car back and I started driving again. So Lightlark by Alex Aster. I've read this once before. This was actually in our first reading debrief.
Okay.
But I didn't read the synopsis. So this is the only synopsis I'm going to read because I don't want to give anything away for the other 2 books. So
now you talked about in the reading debrief that about 75% of the way through you were mind blown.
Yes.
Kat was talking to me. She's reading Lightlark and I told her about what you said.
Yes.
And she said, I can't remember if she texted me or if she just said it to me. She said, I'm going to have to ask Hannah if I missed something because I'm about 75% of the way through and nothing's happened.
Okay, so maybe it's a little bit further than that.
Okay.
But there's just a time at the end where it's revelation.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay.
It's insane.
I'm sure she's already past that part. But
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Welcome to the Centennial. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears to host the Centennial, a deadly game that only the rulers of 6 realms are invited to play. The invitation is a summons, a call to embrace victory and ruin, baubles and blood. The Centennial offers the 6 rulers one final chance to break the curses that have plagued their realms for centuries. Each ruler has something to hide. Each realm's curse is uniquely wicked. To destroy the curses, one ruler must die. Isla Crown is the young ruler. I know. Believe me, I know. Isla Crown is the young ruler of Wildling, a realm of temptresses cursed to kill anyone they fall in love with. They are feared and despised and are counting on Isla to end their suffering by succeeding at the Centennial. To survive, Isla must lie, cheat, and betray, even as love complicates everything. I originally read this August 7th through the 13th last year. Then Nightbane, I originally read August 16th through 21st. I read it again the 26th through 27th. And then Skyshade, I read for the very first time.
Okay.
So, which makes me, I'm frustrated because it came out November 12th.
Yeah.
I was so excited about it coming out. But I was in the middle of Harry Potter. And then it was Christmas time. Mm-hmm. And then it was Fourth Wing. And then, so I'm just now getting to do the reread and the first read through of Skyshade. So the whole thing with the love and everything. This is the first book that is very similar to Twilight in, this is the main focus. Well, it is just as big a focus, her love interest, as the storyline itself. They go hand in hand. So this love triangle is just as important to the series as the storyline itself. It's all interwoven. So this is the first time in a very long time where I've had a good love triangle that is... I genuinely don't know. It's a lot like Infernal Devices. You don't know who to pick.
Yeah.
You don't. In the very first book, I was torn between Aro and Grimm. It was a clear split. Then the ending happened, and I went to the side of Aro. And then the second book comes along, and there's this scene in the second book where she's running from these people, and Grimm finds her after the people find her, and they've cut her up a little bit. They've kind of beat her up, they've been threatening things, and he suspends them all in midair, and he's like, "Which one did this to you?" And she's so shaken that she can't. And it's too dark. She can't see which one exactly gave her the cut. And he's like, "Okay, all of them." Snaps all their necks at once. And I was like, "Okay, I'm Team Grimm." Okay. So that completely flipped me. I don't care. I am flipped. Mm-hmm. I need no other context. Nothing else could happen. I would be Team Grimm. And then this third one, I stayed Team Grimm. So it's going to take... I don't know what it's going to take to get me to flip back. Yeah. Or even get on the fence again.
Yeah.
Because I love Team Grimm. We started getting glimpses of Grimm again, and I was like, "Yep, that's my man. That's him.
That's my man.
That's my choice." So,
and I'm gonna stick beside him.
Yes. So this next book is set to come out September 25th.
Okay.
September 30th. And it is
we got a lot of good books in September.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Assistant to the Villain.
Birth Hallow Thankmas.
Yes.
It is my Birth Hallow Thankmas.
Assistant to the Villain. This one, it's going to be it's actually 2 novellas combined into one book, and it's Grimm's point of view and Aro's point of view. Yeah.
Okay.
More backstory for each of them, more their point of view of meeting Isla and their feelings and everything. So this one could potentially put me back on the fence. I don't think it'll completely sway me to Aro just because I love Grimm so much, but it could potentially put me back on the fence.
Yeah.
There was this one scene in the third one that almost pushed me back to RO. But then I was like, is it love or is it lust? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all I can say is, Isla, I get it. I get this is a tough decision. I get it. I kind of wanted to see what would happen, but then I was like, no, we're good. And this is in our first debrief, you asked me, I think, if there was any spice in it. So I would like to talk about that a little bit. So I couldn't give you a straight answer on that at the time because I didn't pay enough attention to it. I purposefully paid attention to it this time.
Yeah.
So there is spice. It is, you know how A Court of Thorns and Roses was with the first book, where it was the one scene. It wasn't even as graphic as that one scene in A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay. In the first book.
Very light.
Very light. Very PG-13 felt like.
Diet spice.
Yes. Diet spice. And, but then book 2 and 3 turned it up a notch. The difference being, you know how in those romance books, they typically use more straightforward language to describe what's going on, which we talked about it in the Smut versus Spice episode. Slick folds, stuff like that. Like
she still makes the face.
They find ways of saying it that are sometimes awkward. This was as like smoothed over as you could possibly get, but you definitely knew it was happening. 100% knew it was happening. So I did some research because this is one of the ones that comes up whenever people are having the discussion about spice being in young adult books.
Are these why?
So here's what I found, and this is why I wanted to bring it up. On Audible, I checked Audible first because that's where I was listening to it. On Audible, the first book, it does have the label young adult in the tags. The next two do not, which I think is accurate. Even the topics get a little darker. I mean, he snaps 12 people's necks at once, like there's a lot of things going on that I personally wouldn't have wanted to read as a young adult. You know what I'm saying? But the spice in particular is another one that it's a little bit too much for a young adult, in my opinion. But then whenever I went onto Amazon to look at it, all three of them said ages 14 and up. So I was like, that feels weird. So I just looked it up. I just Googled it. I was like, is the Lightlark series young adult? And everything said yes. So that feels a little strange to me. But at the same time, I vaguely remember, I know Clockwork Princess had a scene. I know City of Heavenly Fire with the Moral Instrument series had a scene. Dark Artifices has multiple scenes where it is happening and you're aware that it's happening. So I just can't remember. Breaking Dawn, it's happening. Yeah. I just can't remember the wording of those specific ones to where, because I know she's not using coarse language or anything. So, I mean, if anything's going to be, but is it still too much? Like, are you too aware that it's happening for it to be comfortable with a young adult reading it? That's what I'm not sure on. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on that just to see. Like, just go back to some of my old books and see. But I did not have time to do that whenever I was composing my thoughts on this. So I will do that research, and I will let you know. Because it did feel weird seeing them all labeled as young adults. No, you're good. The Audible tags made more sense to me. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so I gave them all 4 stars. Lightlark is a 3.85 overall. Nightbane is 4.12. And Skyshade is 3.64. Lightlark is 9.25 on Kindle. Nightbane is 9.87 on Kindle. And Skyshade is 10.99 on Kindle. I am pretty sure all of these are in Libby. They are not on Kindle Unlimited, though. So that's where you can find them. Yes. I got them all through Audible.
Yeah.
I just use credits on them, they're well worth a credit.
Yep.
Well worth a credit. Yes, I loved it. Because obviously the spice was not too spicy for me. I loved it. I thought it was a nice break from all the awkward wording that you get from romance books. So, and those were my last 3 of the month.
Woo!
All right,
I technically have 2
Allie,
more.
sorry.
I wish I had more to say about the School for Good Mothers. I found this book on Lemonade, and the cover I thought was Lemonade.
The app?
Yes,
With TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't decide if you said Lemon8 or Eliminate, and I was like,
What's a
They
lemonade?
come out with another social media I don't know about.
Why is there another one?
The cover looks like Throne of Glass, like a different shade of Throne of Glass.
Oh my gosh, yes it does.
Oh my god, I would have mistaken
Dude.
that for Throne of Glass.
That's the same font and everything, ain't it?
Yes.
Freaky.
Yes.
Put up those side by side.
I
above
sure will.
us. That's weird.
Yeah. It's the same font.
This is very strange.
Yes.
Honestly,
So-
now that you showed me that, I do remember people talking about how it looks so much like a Throne of Glass book.
Yep.
I do remember that now.
Casey, I would not suggest this book.
Good, I won't read this.
Okay.
I'm just going to take your word
not
for it.
scary. Let me get into it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, Frida Lou is struggling. She doesn't have a career worthy of her Chinese immigrant parents' sacrifices. She can't persuade her husband, Gust, to give up his wellness-obsessed younger mistress. Only with Harriet, their cherubic daughter, does Frida finally attain the perfection expected of her. Harriet may be all she has, but she is just enough. Until Frida has a very bad day. The state has its eye on mothers like Frida, the ones who check their phones, letting their children get injured on the playground, who let their children walk home alone. Because of one moment of poor judgment, a host of government officials will now determine if Frida is a candidate for a big brother-like institution that measures the success or failure of a mother's devotion. Faced with the possibility of losing Harriet, Frida must prove that a bad mother can be redeemed, that she can learn to be good. Don't. No, I would not suggest any mother to read this. This is a horror novel for moms.
Gotcha.
I wish somebody would have told me that before I read it. But it was so good.
I gotcha.
It is the feeling I had with Brother.
Okay.
Where I want you to read it, but I don't.
So, yeah.
I need somebody to talk about this with, but I don't want you to feel
Right.
the way that I'm feeling.
Right.
I had the nauseated feeling all throughout this book. I had rage. I had just a dread all over. And it has been a while since I've read a book like that. Like Brother.
I gotcha.
It was miserable, but it was also this gives you the feeling of learning something, like learning how mothers feel, where it's like you need to coddle your children, but not too much.
Right.
And you need to warn them of the dangers of this world, but don't scare them.
Right.
You know, that is...
It's a very tricky balance.
Yes. Yes. They send her to this school where they give her a robot that looks like a child. They didn't even know it was a robot until they went to change out the blue liquid. So
That realistic.
yes.
Gotcha.
And it's like, oh, well, now give your child a hug, but not too long. You start with 30 seconds, then 15, then 10. They were torturing these people.
Oh my gosh. That's maniacal.
Yeah, it is evil. It was evil what was done to her, especially when you're getting her inside thoughts. You know what I mean?
Right.
I do think that social services needed to get involved, but then you hear how the social services treated her. It's so weird.
I gotcha.
It's so
So
weird.
it's meant to put you on the fence.
Yes.
I gotcha.
Yes. And it did. I mean, because I was on her side, but not. And,
Right.
I felt bad for her, but I was like, you did it.
Right.
But So I wrote, this book is fantastically written with beautiful imagery and all other good book things, but I hate it and do not recommend it. And I put a 3-star with a question mark over the 4.
Nice.
So smut or
no smut. No smut. They do talk about, so they're in this school for bad mothers. They do talk about, they're in there for a year.
Oh
and
my
her daughter
gosh.
is 18 months.
That's
and
so
she's
much
getting
growing.
to see the baby through the video monitor, and where she's got now the baby has a stepmom, and the stepmom's very natural and wants to eat whole grain and then starts taking out carbs. And even though the baby's only 2, this baby's losing her chubby cheeks right in front of her eyes, but she's not there, and she's starting to lose memory of her, and she's starting to call the new stepmom Mommy Susu is what they're calling her. They go get her ears pierced while she's in this school. See, it is sickening, because I've talked about before how lost time makes me nauseous.
That's crucial.
So many things happen.
Yeah.
So many things happen.
0 to 5 is just
constant growth.
You know how many words Isla has learned just in the past 3 weeks? To not see her for a year?
Yeah.
Not including the time before the court date.
Yeah. Wow.
So I don't leave your children alone.
Yeah.
Never.
But also, this girl got tortured for it.
Right.
Right.
Definitely a psychological torture type.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was torture for everyone involved. So
Bless.
On a high note, I read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I made sure to finish it last night.
Woo woo.
I rated it 3-star. I really don't have a lot to say about it. You said that this is kind of like a build up.
If I had to rate the books, number 2 would be at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say.
They're all good, but there has to be a bottom of the list, and this is my bottom of the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is good. It is good. I did give it a 3-star. This did take me a while to get into.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Also, they've already started cutting out Ginny in the movies.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. What?
That's what I'm telling you.
She was a whole plot point.
Yes.
What do you mean you took her out?
And
she's a whole plot point.
And she was just...
How did he get down there?
Yeah.
Why would he go down there if it wasn't for that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Ginny had the biggest disservice done to her.
I know.
I'm so glad you understand
I
now.
see it. Because
anybody who doesn't like Ginny, you've just watched the movies, please read the books. You will love... Just wait.
From
you will
what
love
I
her.
remember of the movies, I just remember her walking in the background. So.
Basically. You will love her.
Yeah.
Y'all will love her. Kid you not.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
So I did write down HBO announced that John Lithgow will be playing Dumbledore in the new series, and I am pumped.
I don't want to talk about it.
Are they remaking them?
I don't want to talk
It's
about
a TV
it.
series.
I don't want to talk about it.
Interesting.
I'm angry.
I will watch it just for John
Have you
Lithgow.
seen the Snape?
I don't care. I'm watching it for John Lithgow.
Okay.
John Lithgow's my dude. Footloose. Shrek.
Yeah.
He was in Dexter.
Okay.
What is the movie with Mark Wahlberg where he plays Will Ferrell's dad?
Yeah. Daddy's Home too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. John Lithgow is the man.
Yeah. I just. We're gonna talk about this for two seconds, and then we'll be off of it. One, they've casted a hot guy for Severus Snape. It's not that he's mixed. It is not that he's mixed. He's just hot. Severus Snape is not supposed to be hot.
Good looking to be Severus Snape.
Yes, he's supposed to be greasy looking. He's supposed to have a big nose. He's supposed to be greasy. That is the whole point.
I've heard a few people who thought Snape was hot though.
And then don't get me started on the fact that one of the writers refuses to read the books.
What?
Yes.
Why would you refuse to read it? Wouldn't you want?
Exactly.
Is it Blake Lively?
They must be related.
Oh, well,
they must be related.
maybe.
Yeah, that frustrates the crap out of me.
Yeah, I can see that.
You are getting a second chance to put every single detail that you possibly can in. Are you telling me you're not going to consume every single detail that you possibly can and recreate? Don't even get me started, because I'm already frustrated with it. I'm probably going to boycott it.
Yeah,
simply for those reasons.
Well, I boycotted the second Footloose because it didn't have John Lithgow in it.
Understandable. Like,
I'm like, John Lithgow, Kevin Bacon, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes. I mean, that was a stellar cast.
Yes. You don't need to redo it.
Right.
I will say, I did not write this down, but in the book, they describe Gilderoy Lockhart as handsome, almost like a Glenn Powell type.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. He's very pretty.
What the heck was that casting in the movie?
I thought he was pretty.
What?
I thought he was pretty.
You're wrong.
But I mean,
let me pull it up. I got to remember.
In the way that, exactly in the way that Glenn Powell is, where it's like he's too pretty.
No,
it's like
no,
seriously. That is genuinely what I think about Glenn Powell. I think he's too pretty looking. I don't think he's macho enough, and that's exactly what Gilderoy Lockhart is. He's not macho at all.
You think that's attractive?
Honestly, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can see what I'm saying is I can see where he's an attractive person. I am not physically attracted to him, but I can accept that he's an attractive person.
Also, it's 2002 when this movie came out.
Yes.
So, I mean, you got to think of what was
available,
popular then.
Also, it's in the UK. I mean, come on.
Didn't have a lot of options.
not
for a British guy.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Honestly,
that's exactly what Aaron said. That is so funny.
You're so hot for a Brit.
So okay. I get what you're saying with it, but at the same time, I think he's just attractive enough to fit that role without being macho and stuff, and because he is not macho in the slightest.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
One last note. I do not care about Quidditch.
Really?
And that's it.
I love Quidditch.
I don't.
I'm okay with Quidditch. It's right there with actual football, though, for me. So,
is it because there are other sports that I enjoy?
Possibly. So I
enjoy like actually watching like on television. I know you all enjoy sports, but you'd rather be like in person,
right? No. I am going to go ahead and warn you. Then it goes into more detail with the Quidditch Cup, but push through because it's good. Because honestly, it furthers the plot.
Yeah,
there's things from that actual game that were not included. Like literally the movie, it's like the beginning of the game, and then it cuts to them partying back at the tent. It goes into detail, but it's important.
Okay.
It's important detail. So I need you to push through. I don't need you to be like, Quidditch, I don't care about that. I need you to push through. Okay. Because it matters.
All right.
It all matters. She's amazing at that. She's amazing at it. So, love you, J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling super fan over here.
I am. She is so genius.
I've been pronouncing it wrong. I've been saying Rowling.
I flip.
Okay.
I flip back and forth. Depends on how I'm feeling for the day.
All right, ladies, I'm starving.
Yes. Since we finished up with Harry Potter, just another reminder, we do have a Harry Potter episode coming out where we all get sorted into our Hogwarts houses. So be on the lookout for that. Reminder again that we will be at the Knoxville Book Festival. Yes. So come see us April 5th and 6th. Find more information online. And we will be having our book club for Heir of Blood and Moonlight on April 7th. So be ready to join us for that. And as always, we are all over social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, The Unfinished TBR. We've got an email, theunfinishedtbr@gmail.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're posting new things all the time. So come hang out with us across all platforms and drop us a comment down below. What were your reads of February? We want to hear about it and add more to our TBR. I've got at least 3 more that are added just from this conversation.
I added 2 to my Libby today.
To literally on the podcast. So we love you and we'll see you next time. Bye.
And I need you. Da-na-na-na-na-na. And I miss you. Da-na-na-na-na-na. And now I wonder. Is this the musical episode?
Apparently.